if you guys are good. Should be good.
My feet can't touch the
Am I
ground.
on?
Can we see the we?
Can we always
We
see
can
you
see.
around?
Yep, we can see all of you.
Okay. All right, hello out there in internet land. Thank you for putting up with our slight technical delay. I'm Rodney Thompson, senior designer here at Wizards of the Coast. I work on Dungeons & Dragons, board games, role-playing games, and all kinds of games. And today we're going to be live streaming a little bit of our Tyranny of Dragons adventure path. The Rise of Tiamat adventure is where we're starting. And before we get started, I do have to do the usual disclaimer. We are all at least physically adults, and we do use adult language on occasion, so if you have anyone who's sensitive to adult language, please be forewarned that occasionally errors in judgment might lead us to saying things that we probably shouldn't on a public stream. So, all that having been said, we're going to go ahead and jump right in since we're running a little bit late. The first thing I want to do is go around the table and let each of my players introduce themselves and also give a brief introduction to their character as well. So by virtue of the fact that you're sitting on my left, Tom, I'm going to let you start first.
All right. My character is Myketh Felon. She is a tiefling warlock, however she often goes by her virtue name of Longing.
What you do here?
I work on D&D digital projects.
Alright, cool. My name's Liz and my character's name is Nell Peregrine, and she is a stout halfling ranger with a little bit of inferiority complex, and I am a graphic designer in Magic R&D.
I'm Chris Dupuy, I'm one of the game designers on Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm playing Gimblegrub, a gnome paladin.
My name is Chris Sims. I'm a technical editor on D&D, and I am playing Cricket, a halfling monk.
I'm Josh Dillard. I'm a project analyst and game support, and I am playing Davian Songsteel, a half-elf paladin.
All right, now you've met our intrepid crew of players and adventurers, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. For those of you following along at home, if you picked up the Rise of Tiamat adventure already, you're going to notice that I'm fast-forwarding just a little bit to one of the first actual adventure episodes, skipping over some of the early content, so bear with me as we accelerate this a little bit for the sake of entertainment. Some weeks ago, you were each going about your business in Waterdeep, the City of Splendors, when a strange thing happened. A sudden shift in the wind brought with it a sense of unease. The feeling was akin to the drop in air pressure before the approach of a deadly storm, or faint tremors felt from a landslide or earthquake far away. The city around you went unnaturally quiet. No dogs barked, no birds squawked. Even the street vendors went silent. The disturbance which was sensed across the Sword Coast is the Drakhorn, an ancient device whose sounding alerts dragons across Faerun to the great events that are unfolding. It's impossible to say what the sounding meant, but the dragons heard it clearly and will eventually answer its call. As adventurers of both experience and reputation, powerful people in Waterdeep naturally turn to you to discover why the Drakhorn was sounded and by whom. You've been tasked with seeking out a member of the Host Tower of Arcane, known as Makath the Crimson, a tiefling wizard and scholar of draconic lore. According to your employer, no one knows more about the Drakhorn than Makath. Unfortunately, the wizard has gone missing far to the north near the Sea of Moving Ice. Her last report spoke of seeing ice hunters paddling their sealskin boats towards a huge iceberg, flattened like a plateau across the top of its surface, but ringed by icy peaks. She had intended to follow the ice hunters and investigate the iceberg, but after that, no more reports came. Attempts to find Makath using scrying and other magical means located only her ship, adrift and heavily damaged. Some of the ship's crew were seen dead, but no sign of the tiefling wizard was ever found. If Makath is alive, in addition to the lore she can share regarding the Drakhorn, the Arcane Brotherhood would be most grateful to get her back. So, that's the basic setup. You guys have been tasked by your employer to head north to the Sea of Moving Ice. Sea of Moving Ice is a region far to the north of the Sword Coast where giant glaciers sort of drift together in sort of a massive frozen tundra slash sort of Arctic Ocean type environment. You guys have been placed on a ship headed north. That ship is called the Frost Skimmer, and it's a light longship with a really shallow draft, so think sort of like a big, oversized Viking longship that can make the ocean journey up the north of the Sword Coast. So you guys have spent the last several days aboard the Frost Skimmer in the company of the captain, LaRusta Halfface. He's sort of a rough and tumble human sailor, human captain. He has his name from one half of his face is horribly scarred by burning. And he usually keeps his hood up, both as protection against the cold, and also, not to unsettle you by his creepy half-face appearance. So you've had a couple of days together to get to know one another, and also to get to know LaRusta and his crew. So you should all be pretty familiar with each other, what you can do, etc. And for the sake of the fact that we're live streaming this game, we don't have time for tons of character development. Let's just assume that you all get along smashingly. So, I would like to know, over the course of the several-day journey that's going to take you guys to get up to the Sea of Moving Ice, what kinds of things would your characters be doing during that journey?
Freezing.
Shivering?
Shivering.
Lots of shivering?
Lots of shivering.
Right. What else? Anybody have any maybe backgrounds that are relevant to this journey at all?
I probably would occasionally look a little like I'm in a daze, like perhaps I'm concentrating on something that no one else can see, and then sort of, zoning out a little bit.
Maybe puking too. Freezing and
I'll be
puking.
staying away
Wait a
from
minute.
her.
Shivering and seasickness. That's a great
Seasickness,
combination.
yeah.
She's a
Halfling.
ranger.
Ranger.
Oh.
She likes the ground.
She's a landlubber.
Yeah.
Yeah, lover.
Yeah.
I'd be walking around the ship, kind of seeing how things work, what people's jobs are, talking to them.
Okay, so you're trying to get to know the crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too, but I also try to make sure she's okay, and make sure she's okay, because it seems a little weird. And I also try to convince the captain that he shouldn't be ashamed of his face.
Okay.
I'll
She
often
should
walk
just-
up to the captain and flip a coin and ask him to make decisions.
Nice.
I will
He doesn't get the pop culture reference.
spend a lot of time looking out over the tundra, the ice. Love traveling,
Okay.
going to places, exploring. So looking forward to the adventure.
Okay, so you're sort of just keeping a lookout.
Yeah.
Journey. All right. So Cricket and Gimbal Grub, the two of you probably spend the most time actually getting to know the crew. You learn over the course of several days that Lursta's crew are pretty experienced at traveling through the Sea of Moving Ice. They've obviously been up here several different times, and in fact, they've interacted with these natives up here, the Ice Hunters. They're sort of barbarian tribes that live in the Sea of Moving Ice, and have interacted with them a few times, doing some simple trading and things like that, and even have encountered them and you're asked them to help navigate some of the more treacherous, icy waters of the Sea of Moving Ice. So, after several days travel, you're quite sick and pretty much ready to be off the boat.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
sort of like blithely looking off into space. Like, wow, this is great. I love all these glaciers. You're staring off into space creepily and are slowly earning your reputation as the weirdo.
As
Yes.
I try to give her pressure point treatments to
Very nice.
give her.
Don't you right here?
Right. My head feels better. All right. So as the days pass, you kind of get to know each other. Then eventually, sort of in the middle of the afternoon, one day, there is a shout by one of the lookouts on the ship, and they have spotted the glacier that was reported in McCath's previous report. And as it approaches, you can see that. It is a massive glacier that rises up out of the sea. It is sort of vaguely pyramid shaped, but the top of it has been sheared off at about 100 feet. So it's a good 100 feet up to the top of it, and you can see that there's a plateau up atop of it that where it's been sort of sheared off. You can also see that there are peaks in the glacier all around. It kind of gives it this broken crown kind of appearance as well. And as you approach, are any of you proficient in the nature skill? All right. So as you approach, you can see that about, let's see here, how high up? Just like a few feet above the sea level, as you're approaching it, there is a shelf, and the shelf is, varying width, but it can get up to like 15 feet wide. It sort of juts out from the bottom, sort of creating a small uneven path along the bottom. And you can see that on this shelf there are enormous cracked bones littering the entire shelf. In fact, some of these bones are so large that they sort of arch up and form like a little sort of half tunnel almost. And they probably stretch up to over human height as you're approaching them.
Any skulls so we can identify what kind of creature they might have been?
You don't see any skulls, but fortunately your proficiency with a nature skill reveals that you think that they are probably from whales and huge seals, basically ocean-going creatures that are native to the sea up here, and that have been sort of dragged up there and left so that the flesh melts off them.
Well, something big is eating big things here.
The people here don't wail?
The tribes up here are pretty scattered and pretty small, and this is information that the captain can give you. So they do some, but it's usually only enough to feed their own families, and usually the tribes are small enough that something as large as a whale would last them a good long time. There's quite a few bones littering this shelf. Looks like more than would be necessary to feed a single tribe.
There's also no settlements on this glacier, are there? Not that we're the captain's aware of, at least.
He doesn't know of any, and you don't see any signs of it right now. However, you do know that McCath was coming here, and she said that she was pursuing some ice hunters that she'd seen traveling to this place. So possibly either they live here and were returning home, or they were visiting it for some reason.
Now, do any of these bones look like fresh, are they in varying states, or is it they're all just bones? So it's been a while since anything's been up there.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a wisdom nature check?
I think I only got a 12.
Okay. So they don't.
Sorry, 13.
You don't see any super fresh,
Okay.
basically bodies of your corpses, I should say. They mostly look like they've been stripped, although there are like some places where the bones are discolored that could be like dry blood that still hasn't completely, been completely cleaned off or whatever. Looks like most of the stuff that's been on these bones that's been left here is pretty old.
Okay. So, I'm pretty sure whatever was here is gone.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was more scared of us than we are of it.
Yeah.
At the point where you've now reached this point where you can see the shelf, the captain has called the ship to a halt. The rowers set aside their oars, and you're sort of drifting a good probably 200 feet away from the shelf here, the iceberg. The captain turns to the group of you and he says, he was paid to bring you this far, but something like this, not exactly what he and his crew are known to do. They don't do a whole lot of ice climbing or exploring, so at this point, it's kind of up to you guys.
Okay.
We just need to get onto something that we can stand on.
Yeah.
So
Need a little boat.
If you'd like, he can let you off on the shelf there, where the bones are.
Are you gonna stay around? You're gonna.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
he is paid to basically
How
be
would
your
we get
transport.
back?
Yeah. You'll be swimming back, so it was only paid for the journey up.
Super easy and plate, so it'll be fun.
Right. No, he basically he tells you that he can't, or like he could moor the ship up against the glacier if he wanted to, but a shift in the tide or something like that might end up damaging his ship. So it's more likely that he'll pull back away from your signal and then return.
what signal are we using?
Whatever you like. I mean, it's also like it's pretty clear and you can see to it. So like waving or even shouting. You're only
Flailing.
They're just having a dance party.
Yeah. You're only about 200 feet away right
Okay.
now, and you can very clearly see all
Yell.
these bones and everything. So it's not like he doesn't have to drop anchor too far away, but not right up next to the island.
Well, let's go exploring. Sounds good. We can get you on land.
Yeah.
If you're
As long as
it
the
might rock a
glacier
little bit.
isn't. Well, it's not an iceberg, right? It's like.
Yeah, it
It's
is
steady?
a massive glacier. Yeah, it's not
very
bobbing.
steady,
or
okay.
anything.
I
It
will.
looks very, very solid.
I will step on it
It's
then.
just gelatinous iceberg.
Yeah.
I guess ice is not the most steady of things to walk on. But
Okay. All right, so he gives the command, and the rowers take up oars once more. And within just a few moments, you are being offloaded onto the shelf among the massive animal bones. And so once you guys have all gotten off the ship, he tells you that he's just going to basically go right back out to where he was stopped a few minutes ago. If you come back out and need to be picked up at nighttime, light a signal fire, or even just make noise because it's only a few hundred feet away. He just doesn't want to be right up next to the glacier, so you'll be able to,
I make sure I thank them. Leadership.
He's grateful and appreciates the common courtesy that so many travelers and adventurers don't show his kind. What with him being a nearly nameless NPC and all.
Human and all. It's very difficult.
That's right.
I'm impressed.
So you guys are being offloaded onto the shelf, and then once you guys are safely on board the glacier, he gives the command, and the longboat pulls away slowly, moving back out to a safe distance. Now that you guys are up close, actually you are having a pretty easy time identifying this. You're sort of looking at the bones and kind of move up to one of the giant sets of bones that arcs up over your head. You can see that there are tooth marks on these bones, and they are big. You get the impression that there is some sort of very large predator that has been chowing down on creatures of this size.
Look, everyone, this is amazing. These teeth marks are enormous.
He says that
Teeth
everything's
marks.
amazing.
I have a favorite enemy of giants and dragons, so advantage on tracking or recalling information about them. Is there
Okay.
any way I can do a check to look at the tooth marks and see
Yeah.
if I can identify?
So you actually don't even need to make a check
Okay.
because you're so familiar with
Okay.
dragons already, because you know how to hunt them and everything.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that not only does it appear to that a dragon has been chewing on this, you can actually identify the particular pattern of the teeth as white dragon marks. So it looks like a white dragon has been chowing down on these giant sea monsters.
Well, it looks like we got ourselves some dragons.
Fantastic.
White dragons.
I'm excited. How about the rest of you?
To blend in with the snow.
I'm sure there won't be any problem.
Probably
course not.
No.
You said that they weren't here.
Well, I mean, they're clearly gone, but if they were here, I'm sure there wouldn't be any trouble for us. They've been gone for a while, right? Like, it's not like we're seeing fresh.
I don't see
Do we
any
see any
dragons in the
bones
immediate
that
area.
look like they could be from the lost crew?
Go ahead and give me an intelligence investigation check as you sort of sift through the bones. And like once you're up here on the shelf, you can actually, there's quite a few animal bones here. I mean, this is, like from a distance you can really only see the big ones, but getting closer you can see there's even smaller ones here.
That's a 14.
14? Yeah. So yeah, as you get a little bit closer and start sifting through the bones, you see that there's like, the kind of elk that live up here in the far north. There's like a polar bear almost, like some kind of large oversized ursine creature. But you start definitely seeing evidence of human bones in here.
I think we may have found the crew. Let's keep looking.
The crew? What crew?
The crew of the ship. That's what we're looking for.
McCath's crew?
Don't you remember?
You have not seen any sign of a ship up to this point, but yeah.
I thought they found the ship.
No,
Those
they
damaged
saw it
and-
when they were scrying.
Oh, okay, got it.
Oh.
Long range
I thought they
satellite.
covered the ship.
No.
Got it.
They sent us out.
Is,
Okay.
is there a tiefling skull here? 'Cause that would be bad.
Among the bones, you don't find any evidence of tiefling.
I don't find any evidence of tiefling.
Mostly. And this is
My job is just to
how
convey what
large
the
is
computer
the
just said.
span of the shelf?
So the shelf actually, from the point where you're put off on it, it can be as wide as like 20 feet wide, or
Okay.
it narrows to about 5 feet wide. It's
Got
really
it.
uneven, but it actually sort of wraps around the side of the glacier
Okay.
and goes off like around a bend beyond the point where you can
Alright.
see.
There's no sign of, like, a cave here, right? Like, it's just...
There could be something around that bend, though.
I think we probably need to go around the bend because there's nothing here.
Or, I mean, we can't, the plateau is pretty high up. and-
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically 100 feet up from the shelf that
Okay.
you guys are at up to the top of the plateau.
Okay.
And it's pretty sheer vertical ice.
I'm gonna take the easy route.
I agree.
We'll follow the bend first before we have to climb.
I didn't bring my climbing shoes,
I have,
I have a rope.
I've roped
I
you.
have roped.
but I don't have my shoes.
I don't have any kind of shoemaking
So
skills.
I will point out that before you left, you were outfitted with cold weather gear,
Oh,
which
good.
means
Oh, fantastic.
cold weather clothes, crampons, all kinds of basic like winter survival gear. You did know that you were coming to a glacier, so you probably had climbing gear,
My
rope,
shoes.
mittens, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, snowshoes actually would be among the gear that you have. So basically, you can assume that you have general like glacier Arctic travel type
Like
gear.
those shoes with the little points in the toes, so you can stick
Oh.
it into the ice. And,
Those
yeah,
are my shoes.
Those are the shoes.
Yeah.
I would, let's
See how
take a
much easier it
minute,
is now?
if you're okay with it, and cast Find Steed. And summon
Okay.
up a reindeer mount.
A reindeer
A
mount.
reindeer mount.
Okay.
What's your character again?
Paladin.
Oh, okay. So you're one of
I'm
them.
an Oath of Ancients paladin, so I'm not a nature paladin.
Okay.
All right. Sure. Let's go with that.
Sweet.
All right. As long as
Rudolph, my reindeer mount.
I knew you were gonna come up with some twee name. No.
And
Rudy.
you
We'll
just,
call him Rudy for
Is it
short.
Rudy?
just trot up to us, or you summon it
It's
out
a
of
summon
the
It's
spirit.
magically summoned.
It's
Okay.
a fey reindeer.
Yes.
I pat you, reindeer.
That's always
He's
fun.
very friendly.
That's
Obviously.
amazing.
I can fit myself and probably one other on the back of the reindeer.
Probably fit like 3 halflings.
That's true. I
Yeah.
could fit like 3
Sure.
halflings, but we don't have 3 halflings.
Oh, we have
We
2
have
halflings.
We have
no.
2 halflings.
Two halflings
And a
and
gnome. That's true.
Perfect.
This is actually a pretty wee party.
We all jump on the steed and thank you.
All of us.
Except for that.
No, the three of you get on the steed, leaving you standing next to it. You're like, come on, I just summoned
Come on,
this
it's
thing.
my mount.
I'm like, great, giant. I'm like 5'8". I
Not
tower
anymore.
over you. I tower over all you guys.
Now I'm reindeer Grimblegrub, the highest of the Grimblegrubs.
Which is still pretty low.
It's fine.
That's true.
You guys are
Only
right.
like
I'll
3 feet off
walk
the
next
ground.
to my reindeer.
I prefer
You
it
guys
to
can
the
all
boat.
ride.
I wouldn't take your place.
No, go
All
ahead.
right.
Go ahead. It's fine.
So, with the wee folk mounted upon Ruby, your reindeer, uh,
Hey.
hmm,
No.
I really
animal
feel
cruelty.
like I feel this strong urge to plop like a toy maker shop somewhere on top of the plateau.
We're in the island of
I'm
misfit toys.
I can make
Great.
this clockwork toy.
It is the
Both.
North Pole.
I'm
Yeah.
half-
Oh, wow.
Just give me an hour. Hang on.
You can make toys and I'm half elf.
Guys,
so
it's
we're good.
thematic. I need an hour. All right.
My character is lawful good, and I will punch you with my mace-like hands before I allow you to make a toy.
At least he warned you.
He did.
A toy could not make the situation worse.
Also, you're getting coal in your stocking.
Oh.
I quietly.
You get
At least I'll be warm this
3
winter.
pieces of coal.
At least I'll be warm this winter while you all freeze to death with your toys.
That's true.
Got a fire
Okay,
starter.
so you mount up on the reindeer and begin making your way around the shelf, and it can be pretty treacherous at times because it narrows and then widens, but you make your way pretty safely. And as it slowly arcs around the side of the glacier, you can actually see that the opposite side of the glacier from where you had approached from. There's actually a cavern that sort of goes into, like, in slightly, not cavern, a canyon, in slightly to the glacier. And it's just sort of a chunk that's carved out of it naturally. But when you do get around, you can actually see that there are some man-made carvings here, because once you get to the edge of the canyon, you can see that ascending very slowly and precariously up the interior of the canyon is what appears to be a staircase that has been carved out of the stairs. And it's not, you know, like the nice even staircase that you would find in an office building, such as ours. It is pretty uneven, but you can tell that it's clearly designed to make the ascent up to the plateau much simpler.
Are they large steps or person-sized steps?
They are usually pretty large. It looks like
Taller
they,
than
not tall, but wide.
Okay.
Looks like it's sort of designed so that you only step up, like you step up and then you walk 5
Got
feet
it.
and step up and then walk 5 feet. But it's, again, like the shelf outside, it's pretty uneven.
But the height
Got
is
it.
normal person
Okay.
height.
Yeah, you don't, I mean, normal human height, right? Some of these wee folk, it might be good that they're riding on Rudy.
I'm a reindeer.
That's great. Rudy has no problem stepping up.
Perfect.
I want to run ahead, basically, a little bit ahead.
Okay, so you're gonna scout ahead?
I'm not going to scout ahead. I'm just going to be at the front of the party.
Okay, sure.
I'll keep Rudy up with you. We'll keep you protected, friend.
Thank you.
I got my shield.
And toys.
And so there's
I was
writing
told
or
not to do
symbols,
that.
you said?
No,
Or-
no, it's
oh,
just-
no,
it's
it's
just-
just the carved.
It's
person.
very clearly,
Okay.
like, this is intentionally carved. It's not
Okay,
a
got it.
natural
Okay.
occurrence. Yeah. All right, so you guys are going to start ascending the staircase up to the plateau?
Mhm.
All right. So as you climb, is anyone doing anything special? You're staying towards the front, obviously.
I am watching above,
Okay.
making sure that nothing's going to catch us by surprise.
Okay. What's your passive perception?
It is 10.
Okay.
I think I'll also be doing something similar.
Okay.
Watching the skies, sort of.
Sure.
We don't have to watch where we're walking, so.
Yeah.
we don't-
And what's your passive perception?
15.
15? Great. Much better than yours. It's because you're spending
Got
half your
those
time,
eyes.
like half your time you're looking at the sky, half the time you're working on a toy, and then the other half of the time you're trying to hide it from him.
Yeah.
That's right. You had 3 halves. Okay, so
Half man, half bear, half pig.
you get about halfway up, and you're starting on one edge and sort of curving your way around the inside. You can see that by the time you reach the plateau, you have actually curved almost all the way around to the opposite side of the canyon. And as you're about halfway up, so you're both halfway vertically up and also at sort of the deepest part of this little canyon here. You actually can see that there are people up at the top of the staircase, and they at first there's only a couple of them, but then slowly you see more and more people emerging, and you're really only seeing sort of the shadows of these people, or like their silhouettes up against the sky.
There's definitely people up there.
Yeah, but they're definitely humans, and it seems as though they're gathering rather quickly.
I
Alright.
bring my shield up to kind
Good.
of keep me from falling things.
Perhaps they're there to
Keep me
greet us.
protected.
Yeah, it could possibly be the crew.
We welcoming committee.
I don't know.
There
I
are
cannot
ice,
tell.
There are ice hunters here.
That's true. Ice hunters not
Not
bad.
necessarily.
Actually,
Well,
have
they're
javelins. Just
Basically, they're
Just
not
saying,
dragons,
be
so
careful.
True.
we can.
Dragons.
significantly better than dragons.
I would just like to humbly point out that to prepare for a negative outcome, it suggests negativity on your part.
No, it's pretty.
I like your style.
Me too.
I'm going to assume friends and until proven
They
otherwise.
look like people to me.
I'm going to not get hit by rocks.
People aren't that dangerous.
Since I'm underneath where he has a shield, I take a little walk and go. Just to prove my point.
Come on.
You know, if it's the crew, then this is great news for us. So I think we
We're
should
done.
investigate. Yeah, it's probably they're
Why
gonna
did
just
you
go
Job
back,
done. Goes into
fix
the
it.
boat.
If it's the crew, why
Adventure
didn't
over.
they
Just
just
live
get to
stream
the
over.
ship?
They might have shipwrecked and didn't know we were up there.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. Well, we didn't see them.
They're
They
small.
might not have seen
They're
us.
at the top of
I don't
the
know
path.
how
They're
they
not on
would
the other side of the
survive. How
ocean.
long has it been since they've been missing?
It's been several months actually.
Okay,
Oh, so
there
these
is
guys-
not a
we're
lot of
about
food on
halfway up.
this.
Yeah.
So which means
glacier.
they're only about
Whales.
50 feet away.
And
That's true. Maybe they were.
Yeah,
Dire
vertically
seals.
away, but you're,
Oh
you're
no,
sort
wait!
of
It was
working around the
dragons.
inside of the
We already
canyon.
Can
figured
we
out
get
it
any?
was
Are we close
dragons.
enough to tell what kind of
This
clothing
is also
they're
good
wearing?
news
Are they
because
wearing a lot
that
of
those
That's
are
just
clearly
silhouette
not
against the
dragons.
sky.
I'd rather fight dragons than people.
Well, once again, we don't know we're
that's
going
a
to fight
point.
them.
I mean,
Huh.
We don't know if we're going to fight them.
Yeah,
They could be throwing things at us. They're not.
yet.
that's true. I don't think they know we're here.
Because
All right, so
Alright.
just
what if
continue
they're
on.
throwing
I'll continue
delicious
forward.
food
Alright.
at us?
So you guys continue
Or
climbing the
gold
stairs,
coins.
and within a few minutes, you finally reach the top of the iceberg, reaching the plateau. And when you get up there, you can see that the top of the iceberg, it is a leveled off plateau, but it's not perfectly level, right? Like there are indentations, there are places where there's actually small rises, so there's actually quite a bit of sort of textured terrain up here. In fact, there's a few places that look rather treacherous where it looks like the ice has sort of bowed, creating a sort of small pit.
Gnome-sized
That's why
hole.
we got
Yes.
That's why we got a reindeer for it.
But you are
You can tell us for things.
you're sort of breaking even with the level of the plateau, and you can see sort of two things that are of significance. First, you finally see who these people are that are up here, and as you approach, they kind of back away. You can see that there's actually about 50 people up here,
That's a lot of people.
and they have gathered around sort of in a vague semicircle as you are approaching the top. They're all wearing furs and like heavy fur-lined clothing. All look like the sort of clothes that the barbarians of this region
Okay.
wear as well.
Locals.
Most likely these are the ice hunters that you've
Okay.
heard about. They match the
Fantastic.
descriptions that the captain of the frost skimmer was able to give you.
Okay.
I'll jump off my reindeer.
Oh,
Greetings.
his reindeer, you mean?
Yeah.
The other thing you notice that I should mention is that basically, you're coming up to the top of the plateau. You see these people in the semicircle, but between you and those people, you see a frozen wall that is about 6 feet high, and it's sort of uneven. There are breaks in it, and what you sort of come up and you see there's these dark spots, and then as you look closer, you realize that there are about 10 corpses frozen solid in a vaguely line-shaped grouping here, and that's sort of between you and the ice hunters.
They have weird decorations.
I say greeting.
Like humanoid corpses?
Oh yes.
Like from a crew of a ship, humanoid corpses.
Unclear.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
Do they respond when I say greetings?
So you say greetings and
To the corpses or to the people?
To the people.
Okay.
I don't
The,
talk
the
to
corpses do not. To be clear. You say you shout your greetings, and you can see that all of these people that are arrayed behind the wall of corpses, the wall of frozen corpses, I should say, they're sort of staring at you with a mixture of uncertainty and maybe even a little bit of distrust, sort of like you've walked into the wrong bar kind of place. And when you say greetings, there's just no response. They just all sort of stand there quietly watching you. You can see that about half of them look like warriors. They have spears and are, you can see some of them have like crude bucklers strapped over their backs. The other half are obviously just the other members of the tribe, and they're kind of watching you with distrust.
Were they circled around something particular? Like
Not
just-
really. It's just
they were just
they were
there.
sort of at the edge, looking
Okay.
over and watching you guys as
Got
you
it.
approach.
Okay.
As you got up to the top, they backed away.
I see.
All right, I'm going to stow my shield and pull out some rations from my pack.
You should give him a toy.
Yeah, it's a common gnome greeting. I'll go up to them, or I'll walk towards them with some rations in my hand and just say, "Ba we grana with Nini Bomb."
If you think you can earn brownie points with the Transformers the movie reference,
Exactly. There you go.
you're right.
And we can talk about Transformers all we want.
Yes. All right. So you go up and you extend the rations and make a pop culture reference that the chieftain doesn't understand, and the group
We
all
understood.
just sort of stares at you. But then there's a disturbance as someone's pushing their way forward, and you can see that two people are actually making their way forward. The first is a tall, sort of towering human man who is sort of muscular but also really weathered. You'd say he's probably in like his, I don't know, like mid-40s. So he's pushing his way forward, and then coming at his side is who's clearly like a tribal shaman. She's also human, but you can see that she's wearing much lighter clothing, and all of her clothing is adorned with little talismans and totems, like things like there's like a little bird skull or like a string of like acorns that's hanging off of one of her shoulders, but it's all been painted with weird patterns and stuff like that. You can see she has a lot of fish bones that are kind of like arrayed around her neck like an elaborate necklace, but it's pretty crude in general, and you get the impression that this isn't just for decoration. It's probably some sort of shamanic talisman that she's put on, and she's actually the one who speaks, and she says in really, really rough Eluskan, which is sort of the common dialect of the north here. It's pretty broken. She says, "What do you want here?"
What's the name of the tribe?
The Ice Hunters.
Yeah. I will bow and say, greetings, noble ice hunters. We have traveled far in search of our lost comrades. Have you seen a large ship, much like this one, and I'll point off in the distance, recently?
Well, you're sort of on the backside of the island,
Oh,
so
that's right.
you can't see the ship.
All right. Have you seen a large wooden ship recently? Within the past few months, we've lost some friends.
We do not have ships here. You can go now.
Can I?
Have you had visitors?
No visitors. No visitors.
What about the people?
The monsters keep visitors away.
The frozen people.
Yeah, are we close enough to see the frozen people?
Yeah.
Were they
You know,
visitors?
I mean, you're like he has obviously intentionally gone past the frozen wall up to them. You guys are a few feet back. If you want to come forward, you're welcome to come and examine.
I want to examine the frozen people.
Yeah. So when you get closer, you can actually see that
I will do the same.
there are 3 look like human warriors. There's a dwarf. And the other 6 appear to be other people dressed like these ice hunters.
Oh,
So
they
like
are
ice hunters and then outsiders.
Yeah, and they are all frozen and perfectly preserved. Like, no like decay at all.
Cryogenic.
Monsters.
It's
I
a
say
flash
to my
shield
forward.
with a star
What
on
monsters?
Big sea monsters. They come out of sea and they destroy outsiders. We are safe from them up here, but you should go. They will destroy your ship if you do not leave.
it. Sea monsters.
Sea monsters or air monsters?
Both. They are vicious.
So you live up here? On the...
Why do you want us to go so bad? Because clearly you're not really telling the truth.
The larger, older man steps forward when you say that, and he says, "If Bonecover says you go, you go." And he's sort of glaring down at you.
Do the outsiders look?
When he glares down at me, I kind of go,
He keeps glaring.
Do the outsiders look at all like they are dressed in outfits that would have been the crewmen?
Yeah, I mean, they look like the kind of garb you see up and down the Sword Coast, maybe from Luskan.
I say, we're looking for a tiefling named Macath, and we're not going to go until we find her.
Looks like her.
And we don't need your permission to stay here, I'm afraid.
It's very rude to actually tell us to leave.
What if it's their home?
Well, we don't know that yet. They haven't told us.
That's
It's
true.
home.
The woman frowns and she says, "We do not let the devil kind stay here. None have come, and in fact, you should go."
Whoa.
Okay, well, the
let's
devil
watch
kinds?
it with the slurs here, okay? They're friends. It's okay.
She's very nice.
We're all friends here.
I'd like to...
The larger man speaks up and he says, "You are no friend of ours."
Wow, that's really rude, guys.
Yeah, easy there,
No, he
Wolfgar.
gave you rations.
Rations and universal greetings.
They did not take anything, by the way.
Oh.
Like, you just sort of held it out. And
He
it was like,
offered.
I'm
That's
slowly.
it. That's
I'm
rude.
just putting it down like breadcrumbs.
because you need to find your way back to this
the
place.
stairs. There's a lot of
The
white
stairs
around
that
there.
are 50 feet away. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe
It
some
doesn't
of them
look
are
like there's
hungry.
a village around or anything, correct? It's just people
You
standing
ever
on
try
top
to
of
be
a
friends with
glacier.
dog?
Yeah, I don't-
Is
Do
it
you
apparent
see
like
any
how they got
huts or
here?
Yes.
Like, oh,
So-
igloos or something? I don't
Yes.
know.
Okay.
Sorry, I should describe what you see behind them.
okay.
So there is a village behind them.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is their home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I
This
should.
is awkward.
We got caught up in the dialogue, and I didn't get to describe this part very well. So the village is actually back closer to the center of the plateau. And in fact, it's not terribly surprising that you didn't notice it at first, because there are a few places you know.
Because on the wall of bodies.
Wall of bodies, surly mob. Not surprising you didn't see it. But you know, I had mentioned that there are sort of these indentations and also rises. It looks like they have chosen a place where there's a large rise, and they're using that to protect them from like the blowing wind, because all their huts are sort of arrayed off to one side of that. So there's a small rise and sheer like cliff there that their huts are built up against. You can see that there's about 20 structures that make up the village. Most of them look kind of like igloos. They're made of snow blocks. You can see that they're supported by wooden supports as well. There's also a number of yurts that look like they're made of sealskin stretched over whalebone. So obviously they're have a couple of different kinds of shelters here. Most of them look pretty small. Like none of them look real. Not a lot of them look large enough to handle more than even just a small family. So they're obviously individual groups. You see one of the sort of igloo-like structures is much larger than the others, and it's actually squared off, and it's actually almost 10 feet tall. So it's pretty big, and it looks like you would describe it as like almost the size of like a small warehouse in a city. So it's pretty sizable. The only other structure that's noticeably different is that there's a yurt near the center of the village that's somewhat larger than the others, and it is very well decorated and painted on the outside. Just a general guess, that probably means either the shaman or the chieftain lives here. Yeah.
I want to know what vibe I'm getting off of this woman. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Are they
what kind of
scared?
emotion is she giving off when she's telling us to go? Because is it anger or, you know, clearly the big guy is trying to project anger at the very least.
Yeah.
Right.
So one more thing I should mention about the village. You can also see that there is another structure on the plateau here. It is back sort of at the back side of the village, and it is it looks like a one of the few, or it looks like the only structure here that isn't basically igloo or yurt. It's actually made mostly of wood, although you can see that it has snow packed around it, obviously for insulation. But it's decorated with whale bones. It's about the size of the largest yurt, maybe a little bit bigger. So it's the one sort of building that stands out from
How
the
old does it look?
hard to say. It looks like it's been here a while.
Okay, not like.
Yeah, it does not look like a new
Okay.
structure, let's put it that way.
Compared to the old structure, do the sort of igloos and huts, do they look like they've also been here for, like, this is their permanent camp, or is this maybe they move around a bunch?
It's hard to
It's
say,
summer.
Okay,
honestly.
okay.
You don't have a lot of experience up here in the north of these
That is
guys. Actually, why don't you go ahead and give me a wisdom nature check?
Nat 20.
Oh, great. Okay.
Woo.
Double damage to the check.
The yurts don't look very portable. They could be eventually broken down, but they don't look like they're meant to, pop up and go at a moment's notice. Obviously, the igloos take quite a while to form and maintain, and you would guess that they have been here for at least years.
Okay.
So the tiefling we're looking for, we know came to this glacier
She, in her last report, said that she was coming here.
to talk to these people, or she was
The
following them?
She was following them here.
Okay.
She was in search of some draconic lore.
Can I get the vibe I'm getting off this woman?
Yes, sorry. Definitely surly. You get the impression that she is trying to get you to leave by any means necessary. You definitely get that sort of we don't cotton to outsiders kind of vibe.
But is there anything more than that? Like, is there something underlying that, like fear
Why
or
don't you give me a wisdom insight check?
18?
18? No, not really. You think it's more that she simply does not want outsiders to be here. Like she's hostile to outsiders. And you get the impression that the chieftain is backing her play.
We're happy to go. We don't mean to impose on your home. I'm just curious in all why you would decorate your village with a wall of bodies. Seems a little weird.
The chieftain speaks up at this point, and he says, "They are outsiders who would not go."
That guy doesn't look like an outsider. Looks like your cousin.
They are outsiders who would not go.
Who put them in the ice?
He turns and he looks at the shaman, and she sort of lifts her chin defiantly, stamps her staff down on the ground, and says, "I did."
Prove it.
But not on one of us.
I kind of step a little bit
We
closer.
step back from him. I step back
No,
from
no,
him.
no.
No, when I say prove it, I'll take a step forward.
Let's not be hasty here. I didn't bring my ice pick.
You would forfeit your life.
You don't have to kill me. You could just, put a little ice on me. Show me.
Okay. Interesting.
But you can try to kill me if you want.
Whoa.
Hey now.
Now who's being hostile?
I mean, he is. Let's see here.
I don't say it in a threatening manner.
Sure.
You just try to kill me if you want.
You're like, knock this thing off my shoulder. Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Let me get that one thing real quick.
Put a snowball on top of your head. Knock it off.
Okay. All right. She raises one hand towards you, and she begins muttering under her breath and sort of chanting, and she sort of does it with her hand, and you feel a chill, and then you sort of look down and you see that frost is spreading over your shoulders and down your arms.
Do I recognize the spell? Like perhaps is it Chill Touch, or should we give you Arcane check?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an Intelligence Arcana check.
17.
This doesn't appear to be any sort of arcane magic that you're familiar with. It might be druidic magic, but
This is what happens when you tell people to show off.
Okay.
Am I helping at all?
yeah, it brushes away, but it is cold to the touch, and you can feel that, like, now his clothing underneath is moist.
Keep going. Keep
Well-
going. Show me.
She
Show me.
closes her hand and she says, "We are not here to entertain you. I have shown you. Now go."
I don't believe you. I don't believe her.
Well, I think we should at least not taunt her.
I'm not taunting her. I'm just
You-
asking her
you-
to.
you are egging her on.
Is there? Can we go somewhere else on the plateau, or like
Go
we have to
somewhere
go
else.
through
There's-
them?
yeah, do we have to
yeah.
go
Like,
Don't
through
cross
the
the line.
village?
do we have to go through them to just go further into the plateau?
I mean, they are sort of blocking off the entrance to the rest of the plateau. It's not like they're completely blocking it off, but they're
Okay.
arrayed kind of in a semicircle in front of you. You could go around them towards the rest of the plateau, but they are like you basically you guys have come up to the top. Like here's like the stairs coming up, right? And here's the top.
hmm
And you guys are like here, and there's like the wall of guys here, and then they're sort of arrayed kind of like this. So
Okay.
you could like go around, right? But
We don't see a tiefling in the ice, right?
say again?
We don't see a tiefling in the ice.
No.
Okay.
And did you meet a tiefling? Like, has a tiefling? You were unclear. You said you didn't cotton to my kind, but has one of my kind actually been here?
She said none have come.
I'm gonna.
But somebody came because they wouldn't leave.
Hang on a second.
All right.
You've shown us what you can do. Now I can show you what we can do. And I'm gonna cast Zone Truth on her.
Okay.
In the area where her and the chieftain are standing.
Okay, sure. All right, and so that is a wisdom saving
I
throw?
believe it is a wisdom saving throw. No, it's a charisma.
Charisma. Okay, great.
They actually don't get to make a saving throw until they try to tell why, but I think it's great, so that's right.
I just wanna
Until the
look it
spell
up.
ends, a creature that enters the spell area for the first time on the turn or starts there must make a charisma saving
Okay.
throw.
Okay.
And I do know whether they succeed or fail.
Okay. What's your DC?
13.
All right. She fails. He succeeds.
And I will step forward into the area. I have created a safe circle where we can all tell the truth. I failed my saving throw. I don't know if I have to make a save or not. We are here looking for friends. We are happy to leave if our friends are not here.
Is that true?
I am happy to leave.
Okay.
I am happy to leave if our friends are not here. Have you seen a tiefling like my friend over here?
She
Can't speak a
says.
deliberate falsehood.
She says. Yes, but she is dead.
Where is her body?
In the belly of the monster.
Which monster?
The monster Harathator.
Harathator. Is Harathator an air monster or a water monster?
Yes.
Is that a dragon name?
Oh yeah, is Herathator a dragon name? Alright. Is it a dragon that goes both in the water and the sky?
Lots of dragons do that.
Oh,
By the way,
saying.
if she really knows who Arathator is, then it's not.
You
just
actually,
like, yeah.
you're
Okay.
a ranger and you have favorite enemy dragons,
Yeah,
right?
dragons, yes.
You know
Okay.
Arathator is a white
So,
dragon
white
that
dragon
plagues the north, although he has been seen in some time.
Okay.
He's got a belly full of tiefling, that's why.
So,
What about
It's heartburn.
Yeah.
what about the tiefling shipmates?
They are all dead.
All of them.
Yes.
dead by Herathator or dead by you?
Yeah.
Where is Herathador's den?
We didn't come here to fight a dragon.
We came here to find the tiefling.
You notice, by the way, that while this conversation's going on, several of the villagers have slipped away from the back and are
Okay.
making their way back towards the village.
Okay.
Well, the last thing you asked
Very
was,
interesting.
where's Rathator's lair?
Yes.
Okay. She says, deep within the belly of Oya Vigatan.
Could you draw me a map?
The chieftain says, you are a fool.
I've been called worse. Truthfully.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you show us where this place is?
He sort of crosses his arms and he says, you must go now.
What do we have?
said
Yeah,
too
we'd,
much.
we'd like to go.
Where's Oya Vigatan?
The shaman speaks up at this point and she says, you are standing on it, fools.
Oh.
And you
You're
see
just
the
calling it
chieftain sort of
glacier.
shoots her this look that's just like, come on.
See, we've just been calling it Glacier.
So,
That is a name.
so we need to stay here. What do we have to do to stay here and appease you?
The chieftain frowns and he says, we will have a contest. Our champion against yours. If you win, you may stay. But if you lose, you will go.
Challenge accepted.
What sort of contest?
I will figure that out later.
A contest of battle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Reasonable.
It's different than glass blowing. Could it be glass blowing?
I've been really good at that.
We have one of those.
a
Yes,
basket
our
weave.
glass blowing champion.
Really? Can I beat him?
His name is Esteban.
Weaving. A weaving competition. It's gonna take a while.
Basketball takes a while too.
It's,
Although easier in this frozen
The
time.
chieftain
Humbly,
looks you all
my
over,
friend.
and so
I
you're
think
you're a
you're
paladin,
hasty.
right? And you're also a paladin?
I am.
But you're a wee paladin.
I
So his eyes sort of gloss over you, and
I'm more of a
I
lover
don't
than
know.
a
I
fighter.
would say
so.
his paladin nature has nothing to do with his stature, but more to do with the fact that he's a glass blower.
Yes.
Right, yes. And so he sort of looks back at you and he says, a fight, single combat, none of your trickery. And he looks at you and he says that. And he says, a fair fight.
Wow, that's a
Really,
loose
you should allow,
interpretation of fair.
really, we should choose me to fight.
And if you do not agree, you must leave, or we will slay you all.
We choose our champion. You choose your champion.
He says, your champion will fight Orcahart.
Oh God.
Really, I want to.
And
I- no
when he
problem
says
with that.
Orcahart, he gestures back towards the group, and you see that someone else pushes the way forward. Only it doesn't really take like this person getting up to the front for you to see that this tribe member is like head and shoulders taller than everyone else. Unlike everyone else, he is bare-chested, but he has a bandolier going across his chest and has two sword blades sticking out over his shoulders.
What are the rules of this contest?
Fight. The first one to fall loses.
To fall.
Or to die. Like,
Does
that's-
fall mean die?
Probably knocked down.
He shakes his head and he says, "If you will leave, we do not need to kill your champion.
We came
The
here for
first
our
one who
friends.
cannot fight them."
So unconscious.
Fight to knockout. If you want it, go for it.
I'll fight him.
Okay. When you say that, the chieftain sort of looks surprised, and he says,
I have no weapons that are visible.
right, he says, "So eager to leave, are you?" "Very well."
If you think I'm so eager to leave, you and I could fight.
He turns back and gestures to the assembled crowd, and he barks something in a language that you guys do not understand at all. And they begin to spread back out. You can see that by this time, the few people that have left the group and went back to the village are slipping into that one large building that's made of wood with the
Oh.
whalebone decorations, and they're going inside.
Large fancy building.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the crowd disperses a bit and creates, actually, they create a circle around like an open area where the champion Orcahart is unlimbering his swords, and you can see that they're actually bone swords, but they are obviously sharp.
Can I ask for one extra rule for this fight?
He the chieftain frowns and says, "What would you ask?"
I want to fight on the edge of the glacier.
He says, "I thought you did not want to fight to the death. To fall off is to die.
There's a path down there.
It's a long way down." Okay. He says, he looks to the champion, who just sort of shrugs and rolls his shoulders, and he says, "Very well. But if you kill our champion, you are breaking the rules."
Don't kill him. Don't break the rules. Don't break the rules.
Well, then we don't need to fight on the edge.
All right, so the crowd moves and once again forms that semicircle. This time with you and the champion of the Ice Hunters, Orcahart, in the middle, and you guys are sort of arrayed off to one side as well.
How distracted is everybody?
They are watching pretty intently. You get the impression that the crowd in general shares the sentiment of wanting you to leave, so they're all pretty surly anyways, but the prospect of seeing their champion fight your diminutive champion, they're pretty interested.
But we saw the people that broke off from the part, the group went to that building.
Yeah, and they're gone.
Okay.
They've gone inside now.
I'm debating if I can get out of sight, cast invisibility on myself, and go check it out.
The crowd is pretty distracted. I would say that with a sufficient dexterity stealth check, you could effectively slip just sort of out of their
okay.
field of view. Like you're just kind of moving to the back and taking advantage of their distraction.
Yeah.
You're not really hiding, but
Okay.
all you're really trying to do is disguise the fact that you're casting the spell.
Yeah.
I have a ranger you could stand behind.
Yeah.
Well, if it was one of the halflings, maybe. But
I go hide behind the halflings.
Alright. So with a sufficient check, I would say so, but you do risk them noticing you casted the spell if you fail.
I'm gonna wait till the fight starts.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else want to do anything else before the challenge begins?
I want to watch this fight.
I'm going to completely ignore the fight and instead pay attention to make sure that there's not an ambush coming behind us, and also that Hrothgar doesn't sneak up on us.
Hrothgar.
Is that what the name is?
No.
Hrothgar.
Hrothgar.
A Rothator. A Rothator sneaks up on us, yeah, okay.
Oh my God! Where did the dragon come from?
Where did that gargantuan white dragon come from?
Hey, in Jurassic Park, the T-Rex sneaks up on him.
That is true. All right. So when it's clear that you're ready to begin, the chieftain looks.
Does he speak our language?
The chieftain shakes his head and he says, "No. Only I and Bonkaba speak your foul tongue."
Insulting.
and he says, "Are you ready to start?"
Are we faced off against each other now?
And you're kind of in the middle of this semicircle.
I nod and then I bow to Orca
He turns and he says something again in their guttural language to Orcahart. And he says, "You may start." Let's roll initiative. Alright, what'd you get?
13.
13? Right. If you want, you can act first. You can see that the champion is basically turning and getting ready to move towards you.
How far away from the edge?
I mean, you're both probably a good 10 feet in from the edge at this point.
Okay. I go toward him as fast as possible.
Okay.
I spend 1 key point to use Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
I'm going to use those attacks first.
Okay.
First attack is a 9.
All right. That is unfortunately a miss.
Second attack is a 21.
That's it.
He needs to make a dexterity saving throw DC 13.
Okay. He succeeds.
Okay.
And what were you doing there?
That would have knocked him prone if he failed.
Okay.
He takes 8 damage.
All right. So you come in and you're just whap, 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 and you try and take his legs out from under him, but when you do so, you find that he's actually relatively nimble for his size. He sort of steps over your legs as you do that.
And I get to attack him one more time.
Okay.
And that's an 18.
All right. That's it.
He takes 6 more damage.
Okay. Got it. All right. So you, fists and feet flying, are wailing on him. He steps over that one kick that you lashed out him with, but then you managed to actually catch him right in the midsection, and he grunts in surprise, but then turns and actually begins whirling his swords and is going to strike at you with both of them, in fact. Does a 13 hit you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so he swings once, swings a second time, and then he actually spins around and brings this the sword in his right hand around behind him to try and jab at you from behind. That is a 17.
That is.
Okay, you take 9 slashing damage. Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. You're gonna take 11 slashing damage.
Flashing.
All right, so he has basically returned your attacks, and it's now your turn.
Can I make the check see if I can hide?
You absolutely can. Go right ahead.
8.
Okay. All right, so you sort of make your way back towards the back of the group, and you're kind of looking around, and you see there's a couple of other ice hunters there, and they're like watching the fight, and they kind of look at you and like.
No, I won't do it if they're watching me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do a
I
regular
can
attack.
pass without
Okay.
trace. So I have to be able to.
That's only a 10.
That is unfortunately a miss.
I'm going to then use another key point to do Flurry of Blows.
Okay, go right ahead.
I don't know what's in that building.
I got a 14 with the first.
14 would normally hit, but as you're sort of bringing your hand around, he actually brings the flat of one of his blades up and stops it as you're bringing your hand around.
Then I spin
Mhm.
and get a 23.
That will hit.
He needs to make another dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I have an 11.
He falls prone.
Okay. All right, he falls to the ground with a thud.
I cheer.
So we were
And
chatting.
he also takes 7 damage.
We were chatting, and I think I'm going to actually try and sneak back to the building.
Okay.
With pass without trace,
Okay.
and I might be able to sneak, but this could help. Can be silent.
Yeah, so the crowd is pretty distracted, so why don't you go ahead and make your dexterity stealth check?
Alright, 15 plus 7, so 21.
Okay, 21? Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All right, so you think you've managed to basically get, move back to the back of the crowd and get to the point where most everyone is focused on the battle at hand.
Or me.
Or him, yes. Because you're like trying to sneak away and you're like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me.
Trip on a piece of ice.
Whoa!
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to cast Pass Without Trace?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you do so, and you're going to slip away and head towards the village itself,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
When he falls prone, though, I want to move like 15 feet away from him.
Okay, sure. All right. So then on his turn, he pushes himself up to his feet, and he actually reaches around behind him and pulls out a leather buckler. And you can see that he's got the buckler in one hand, and he sheathes one of his bone swords.
Whoa.
And begins moving towards you, but he actually doesn't take an action. Oh, doesn't take a visible action, let's put it that way.
He's preparing to do something?
It does.
Can I use a reaction to call out?
Sure.
He fell! The contest is over! Those were the rules.
The chieftain glares at you.
Those were the rules!
No, he said the one who cannot fight any longer.
Oh. I missed that part. Never mind.
He clarified falling.
He did say fell.
Continue.
Come on, Cricket. I'll cheer Cricket on. That's my action. Go, Cricket, go.
Sure.
Punch him in the face. Kick him in the knee.
He didn't move all the way to me. He looks like he's preparing to do something.
Yeah.
All right.
And you're about 15 feet away from him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I move back toward him.
Okay.
I flurry of blows again.
All right, when you get close enough up to him, he actually swings his shield around and tries to bash you with it.
Okay.
There's a 17.
It hits.
All right, 9 bludgeoning damage.
All right.
I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
A strength saving throw.
Yes, sir.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
He's gonna smack the wee folk over the edge of the cliff.
10.
All right, you are knocked prone. He basically takes you off your feet with the shield.
Okay. Well, basically what that looks like is I flip back to my feet
Mhm.
because
Yep.
I moved way less than half of my speed.
Okay.
Um,
What is your speed actually?
40.
40. Okay.
Wow.
You're a
So you move
bastard.
15, and then you spin 20 feet to stand up.
Right.
Yep.
And as I'm flipping back to my feet, I use my feet to kick him.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's a 23.
That is it.
So he takes 6 damage from that.
Okay.
Then when I get back up, I use flurry of blows again.
Okay.
Someone's gonna need a nap after this.
The first one is only 12,
12 is a miss.
and the second blow is a 25.
25 is a hit.
The later days.
I'd like him to make a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Okay. Pretty good at strength.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I have a natural 20 on that,
Okay.
so yeah.
But I missed him once, but I hit him once,
Yep.
and for the second one, he takes 10 damage.
Okay, very nice. Got it.
So I
All
jump
right.
and I kick him right in the solar plexus.
Right, so you're actually wailing on this guy pretty well, but every time you hit him, it's just like hitting a solid piece of stone, right? Like he just feels super, super tough. He doesn't show any signs of flagging. He has the sword and the shield. He actually begins to spin the sword pretty quickly and is going to lash out at you with the sword.
This is where you pull out the pistol and shoot him.
Right. All right, so he's actually going to be swinging his sword twice at you. All right, that is a 24 and a 20.
Both hit, 17's hit.
All right, that is so 22 piercing damage, 11 and 11.
Great.
Or slashing damage.
Ouch.
All right, so at this point I want to ask, does anyone else want to do anything? You're slipping away, and
Yeah,
so
I'm
you
sneaking.
are basically moving away
Okay.
after this.
Yeah.
I was told no funny business, so
That is correct.
I will not break the rule.
Okay.
Such a good paladin. You're a good paladin. You're a paladin too.
Yep.
I would totally do funny business if I had funny business to do, but
Okay.
I don't have any funny business. Apart from
Um,
reindeer jokes.
All right.
I'm watching the crowd too because I want to keep an eye on the building because I know
Right.
The ranger has slipped off that way.
Okay. All right, Cricket.
You can cure wounds, but
You gotta get up close for that.
yeah. Also,
I spend another key point and take the dodge action
Okay.
as a bonus action.
All right.
Then I move away from him.
Okay. So he is going to swing you. I rolled 2 15s. So that's a 22 to hit for
Okay.
11 slashing.
That means I'm at 0.
All right. So you try and dash away, and he just slashes you right across the front with his sword, and you go spinning to the ground in a spray, like with a spray of blood, flecking the snow on top of the plateau. All right. When it's clear that you're not getting back up, the champion goes over and kind of nudges Cricket with his foot. And turns and raises his hands above his head, and the whole assembled audience cheers. Like, the chieftain looks smug, and the shaman steps forward and points a finger at all of you, and he says, "Now you go, as agreed. Your champion lost, ours won. Be gone from this place forever."
am I far away enough that I
You're
don't?
gone.
Okay,
You're,
I'm gone.
like,
Okay,
you're,
so
you're not
it's
even
okay.
close around here.
Do we want to honor that, or do we want to?
I was being truthful. I didn't expect, to go up against Rockman.
I will go
I-
over to
I'm gonna,
Cricket,
yeah.
I say best 2 out of 3.
Are you gonna
lay on hands
Yeah,
for a
that's
couple of
fine.
points, at least to get you back up.
How much?
Let's say 3 to start with.
I say 2 out of 3.
You have already lost, devil woman. Be gone from this place. It is forbidden to your kind.
We will leave your town as you asked.
The chief goes,
However, we want to know how to meet your dragon.
The chieftain gives a booming laugh. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Arathator will find you
Oh, okay. Then-
delicious.
oh.
He will find you delicious.
Do you,
Alright.
What's your character's name?
No.
do you worship Arathator? Or do I have a sense? Do I actually? Can I tell?
You get the impression there's reverence here.
Okay.
Probably not worship, but more like respect.
So how do you prevent Arathator from attacking you? Perhaps you could grant us this courtesy, as you have clearly are superior to our party, that we could, protect ourselves from Arathator.
You two guys are next
The
to me or something?
uh,
When you wake me up,
the
I say,
shaman
"Oh, I'm sorry."
shakes her head and she says,
These things happen.
"You must be gone.
Then I regain 20
Arathator
points.
protects us
That works.
Why?
Protects you from what?
from outsiders like the devil woman." She's a little on the dramatic side.
Yeah.
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 Was there any more ice shelf around the edge, or did we really go on all the walkable space? around
Basically, the
the
point where you reach the canyon there, that's where it ended because it became the canyon.
Okay, so there's not a lot more exploring we can do without being up on the plateau.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could climb on the out. You could try and climb on the outside of the glacier. It's gonna be a little difficult. You could get in the water, but obviously that risks
Has
exposure
different problems as
to
well.
Arctic cold water. So, this, as far as like safe exploration goes, it's pretty much the plateau or the shelf or nothing.
Okay.
I could have messed you with that. Hold on. I'll just keep walking.
All right,
towards
so
the-
yeah, at this point we should come back over to you. So Nell, you've slipped away from the group. You made your way over to the village,
Stealthily.
and you're not invisible or anything, but
No.
you're sort of obscured from sight, and you're not leaving any tracks. So you feel pretty confident that
It's
you haven't
important
been
in the
noticed
snow.
or anything. Yeah. You're doing the Legolas thing where you're walking
Yeah.
on top of the snow and
Uh-huh.
everything. And you get over to this building, and you can see the whole village is cleared out. Like as you're moving through the village, there is no one around. Like there's even like cook pots on cook fires that are just like
Ominous.
bubbling over, right?
Those
So
beams.
like it seems like everybody in the village is over watching your buddy get destroyed by their champion.
Did I get destroyed or did I actually hurt that guy? I mean, I did like almost 30 some points of damage to him.
You did almost do a third of his hit points in damage. So, yeah, he's a badass. So, but you get over there and you can see the village is completely cleared out. But you finally reach this this building, and it's pretty sizable. There's only one entrance though. I mean, you're kind of looking around the sides. You don't see any other entrances. But you can see that everything here is decorated with whalebone, and it's also carved pretty ornately. You get the impression that this place has some sort of cultural or ritual
Okay,
significance.
got it. I'd like to go inside it.
Sure.
The one
Yeah,
entrance.
this doesn't really have a door per se.
Okay.
It's really more just like thick leathers hanging
Okay.
over the entrance. You push them aside and sort of peer in. You can see that there are a couple of braziers inside, giving off heat and also light. But it's pretty small amount. And when you look inside, you can see it's obviously some kind of like meeting hall because it's got these tiered wooden benches, right? So it looks like a place where the whole town can gather and
Okay,
meet.
huge.
Yeah. Except right at the center of it, there is what looks to be a large, really a trap door made of like driftwood planks that's been picked up and moved to the side. And you can see that there is an opening that's been carved into the ice, and there are icy stairs descending down. And there's no one in this room.
Okay. I think what I'll do. So I've already cast Pass Without Trace, so I cannot.
I mean, it's probably still.
Okay.
I mean, you've only been
Okay.
gone like a minute or
Oh,
so.
up to an
right?
hour.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah, it's up
definitely
to an
still.
hour.
Yeah, you're definitely still in
Okay.
the effects of Pass Without Trace.
I think what I might do is head back
Okay.
towards the group.
All right.
Now that I've seen that.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've discovered the entrance into the
Okay.
glacier,
Mhm.
and so you're going to head back to the group. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like for you to go ahead and give me one more dexterity stealth check. This is just going to determine when you rejoin the group.
21 as well.
Okay, great, fantastic. All right, so you're creeping. You're doing good. All right, so back over with the main group. You've been picked up now. You've had hands laid on you by your paladin companion here.
As
So
long as
you're
we
no
don't
longer
leave an
bleeding
hour,
out. You're conscious
I can
again.
And I used an action to
Everyone,
regain
and
21.
we can sneak down.
Oh, great, fantastic. So for the rest of you guys, the shaman is telling you to leave.
Wait. Oh, can I just like sort of sneak up to them? They don't notice me, but I'd like to whisper something to my companions. I can pull them aside, like oh, you know.
So actually, if you're within 30 feet,
Yeah.
I can do telepathy with you,
Oh, that's cool.
and then you could relay.
Okay.
To me,
I'll-
Why don't we say this? Like you rejoin the group as a
Okay,
whole,
yeah.
and you
No
do
one
so
noticed.
subtly so that no one really notices
Yep.
that you were gone.
Mhm.
You notice that she has returned though.
Okay.
So if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do the telepathy with
Okay,
you.
and I'll let you know that I saw this entrance into the glacier, and I think as long as we leave within the next 50 or 40 minutes, then I can take my companions and we can sneak down there. We can pretend we're leaving. Oh, where'd they go? I don't know. And we can maybe sneak down to the glacier.
Okay, I'll switch and then do telepathy with
Oh, this is fun.
Grimblegrub, right?
Yep.
And I'll tell you.
How did you forget a name like that?
And I'll let you know that, hey, in that building there is stairs leading down into the glacier, and we have a chance of possibly sneaking into it with our ranger's help. I'd probably not have talked to you with telepathy before, so
Oh God!
it'd be a little
What is that?
freaky.
I can hear the voice.
But I mean, to be fair, you do have the reputation as the creepy.
Because I'm probably just staring at you.
I
Creepy
think
Everybody
we
else is watching me
expected
stare at
at
you.
this point.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, she's talking to my mind. I
Yeah.
didn't expect that, but I'm not surprised.
Okay, guys, time to go.
We are
Yes,
going
it is time for
now.
you to be gone.
Can we go that way? I point to the other side, toward the glacier that, you know.
That is,
You will go back the way you came.
but that's the way to our ship. That's the way we should.
You will go back the way you came.
How exactly would Pass Without Trace work with my companions?
So-
like,
you're not going to be able to basically be like, gotta go by, and
Yeah,
vanish,
yeah.
right? Pass Without Trace is really more just sort of a veil of stealth that is
Okay,
made of.
okay.
So because everyone was distracted, I allowed you to do
Okay,
it,
got it.
as just yourself. Unfortunately, they're all kind of looking at you and your
We'd
companions
have
at
to
this
get out
point.
of
The
it.
fight is over
We
with,
could
so...
do it again tonight, perhaps.
That's true.
Or what? I guess it would not work if I just had a loud noise behind them and they all looked away. That we could then disappear.
No, because they're still going to look back
Okay.
at you.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
The reason it worked for
Yeah.
her is because everyone was
Got
distracted.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So
We'll,
yeah.
we'll just.
We can come back at night. We'll go now.
We should leave
All right.
All right.
back down.
All right.
All right, so descending back down the way you came.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait till
So
after
how-
we get out of earshot. I'm gonna gesture that.
How far above the path are we at the edge that we were near fighting?
So the path on the inside of the canyon, it basically comes right up to where you
I know,
guys were.
but where I was fighting the champion, how far down would the fall be?
Well, the path is pretty narrow, so if you pushed him onto the path, he would just land on the path. But you know, they didn't know that, right? And so there's also places where it drops off 100 feet down to the water below. Because basically, like, you came up here, if you're fighting here, right, and you push him on the path, that's fine. But if you push him this way or this way, like, would have fallen 100 feet down. Finish your question.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is from where I am, I wanted to jump off of the glacier to the path.
Sure, yeah, and you could actually jump like 10 feet down if you wanted, or something like that. Or you could jump further.
I'm trying to be like Batman, disappear and.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump off the side.
You
of
say, I'm the knight,
Yeah.
jump away.
All right.
All right, so you guys head back down the path, either walking or jumping, as it were. And
I look very sad.
It's okay,
I
bud.
apologize to everyone.
single
Aw,
tear.
no, it's okay.
You get it next time.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are making your way down the path, and it's actually not that far from evening at this point. I mean, between your explorations and your arrival and everything, it's probably heading within an hour to sunset. So
Okay.
the sun is beginning to set on the western horizon, casting everything in a pink-orange light.
Lovely.
So
We should nap a little bit.
our goal was
As
to,
you guys are descending down the path in the canyon, you can see that there are still many members of the ice hunters there watching you
Oh, yeah,
go.
sure.
Right.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I assume that you descend all the way down and then head back to where you saw the bones before.
Or at least where they
But
can't see
hopefully we're all
us.
like
Yeah, out of the corner.
backlit and
Yeah.
look badass and stuff, though, right?
Right.
Riding off
Yeah.
in the sunset.
On the reindeer.
On the reindeer. On Rudy.
We should just get out of sight from where they are and rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I could
shouldn't
use
go
a
all the way
nap.
back down, that's a waste of time.
Well, but they can see the whole canyon. We have to actually get all the way to the bottom and then go around
Yeah.
Okay.
the side.
That's not too bad. We have a reindeer.
Yeah.
I'm on the reindeer.
So in order to get out of sight of the ice hunters from where they're watching you, it's going to take you probably about 20 minutes of careful
Okay.
descent, and then you just go around the corner that way. By the time you get down there, I mean, the sun is really starting to dip down close to the edge of the horizon.
Now, was the ship wasn't expecting us back tonight, right? Like,
No, no,
Okay.
no, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
He said he's prepared for you guys to be several days.
Okay.
Okay.
I say we rest,
Short rest.
feel better, and then try and sneak back.
Maybe it'll be like we could just go back in the morning and it'll reset and we can try to cut as the champions again.
Be gone, outsider! You devil woman! Did we have this conversation? I don't think so.
It'll reset. You know, we left the zone. It'll respawn.
I mean,
Right.
deal.
So you're gonna head back down, and it's sort of on the shelf where all the bones are. Try and take a short rest.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So while you guys are
Oh,
resting,
before that,
No.
I'm going to ask, do you know if white dragons are nocturnal?
Are white dragons nocturnal?
they are
Yeah.
both. They
Okay.
are.
Okay.
Never sleeping.
Dragons are pretty special in that they can be active for long periods of time.
Okay. So floating a theory out there, what if the dragon lives at the bottom of that hole?
Oh, very possible.
And they sent people down to go tell the dragon we are here to come eat us.
I feel like,
That is a problem.
yeah. I don't know, I get the sort of feeling that they like revere the dragon and are less like slaves to the dragon.
There's a
you know?
chance that the tiefling and her shipmates are still alive.
I think so too.
Because if they would have sent them down to the dragon, she could have easily just assumed that
Yes.
the dragon ate her.
Yeah.
So I think we need to plan on the fact we need to continue to search. We
Okay.
can't just take her word.
Absolutely.
But now that hole probably wasn't big enough for a dragon to come out of, was it?
No.
No,
So that
it
means
wasn't
there's
big
another
enough.
entrance.
Yeah, there has to be another entrance. If
But
the
they could be
dragon's
under
not
the
there,
water,
it's
right?
just
I was just going to
there.
ask, although would it be under the water?
It could be under the water.
Yeah.
And
it's
you know
very
that
possible.
white
I didn't bring my
dragons,
water gear.
you know the white dragons can
Mm,
withstand extreme cold.
Yeah. So they're probably the white dragon.
If it's a smart dragon, the only entrance is under the water.
Rothator.
Rothator.
Alternatively, the dragon may be trapped in the glacier.
So,
We haven't seen it for quite some time.
so while you guys are having this discussion, I assume that you guys are going to try and rest,
Yes.
patch up your
Yeah.
wounds, in your case, and everything. Okay, great.
I'm
So,
gonna stand.
you're keeping watch,
Yep.
and you can kind of all watch out and everything. I'd like for each of you to roll a d20 for me, please.
11.
9.
16?
Probably.
Okay, great. All right, so an hour passes uneventfully, and you're able to complete a short rest. By this point, the sun is down over the horizon. The sky is still lit with the sort of purple twilight of evening, but you can tell that within just a short period of time, full night will have fallen.
Probably wait till it's dark, I think.
Mhm. And it did look sort of like a ceremonial gathering place, so we probably want
They're
to
probably having a
wait till
party
yeah,
tonight.
we want to wait till past ceremonial gathering times.
What's the usual
Traditional- ceremonial gathering
ceremonial
time.
gathering time?
So like their bedtime, they look pretty hardy. Their bedtime's probably like 10, 11.
Wait till they're passed out.
So the stroke of midnight.
No, maybe probably later than that. We might be
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay.
3 in the morning.
They're
sounds
partying,
great.
they're drinking whatever kind of fermented walrus beverage they drink up here.
So you want to wait until well into the night then?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that probably means we could take a long rest.
Wait,
We can
okay.
try.
So we're very far north. Are we far north in the times in which there is short night or long night?
Short night.
Okay.
So it's
So
30
maybe
days.
not
Oh, sorry,
three.
long night.
Long
short,
night.
short
okay.
day, long night.
Cool. So it's long night.
Just like here in beautiful sunny Seattle. Oh.
It is dark outside right now.
Seriously,
isn't
I
it?
think the sun went down at 3 p.m. today. It's
It is.
terrible.
I'm going to sadly take off my plate and put on my chain.
Your
Because if we're going to
pajamas.
sneak.
Oh, right, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say sadly were you crying?
Have you
as
seen
you
someone
did it?
try to sneak in plate mail? It's not
Yeah.
Your
pretty.
chainmail is also pretty noisy too.
It's quiet.
It sounds like foil.
Your chain shirt.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
yeah, not a
clinks
chain
when-
shirt.
Yeah.
Chain shirt. Okay, so do you guys want to try and wait,
Oh, yeah, chain
a
shirt.
good full 8 hours before you head up
I
there?
want to rest as much as possible. I
Okay,
think.
if you want to try and take a long rest, you're more than welcome to do so.
I feel like I should blow some spells.
I'd like
in
to
there.
take. I'd like to take a long rest and yeah,
I wonder if
practice
they-
your.
You can absolutely try, but of course,
Do we
remember,
have-
you do run the risk of if
Dragon.
the dragon is on the prowl.
Oh.
My spellcasting friends, does anyone have any way that we can obscure ourselves as we ascend the stairs again?
Well, I was going to cast Pass Without Trace again, in which I can, I mean, I get a 10 plus bonus to dexterity and basically can mask me and my companions from detection.
Well, that's good because I don't
So-
want. I'm sure they have lookouts on
Yes.
the ledge.
I was, and it lasts an hour. I was hoping that, like, when we get into sight, an hour is the most it would take us to sneak in.
Okay.
I think her spell will be more than adequate for our needs, as long as it's dark and they can't just obviously see us walking across the glacier.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I have
can we
dark
all
vision.
see well in the dark?
I have dark vision.
I have dark vision.
Okay, so you
I
so you-
cannot see well in the
so
dark,
you two can't
but
see. Alright.
I can
You
just
can
like
ride
do.
Rudy.
I can like
No.
put my hand on your shoulder. and
Yeah,
you
you just sort of
Or-
like conga line
There
your
is
way up.
moonlight, so it's not pitch black.
can- Okay.
Okay.
And you just ride on Rudy, and I can telepathy
yeah.
with Rudy, so I can make sure he's safe.
Do we really want?
That's, is he spectral or is he?
He's a
He's-
fey horse.
Fey,
He's,
Spirit.
a,
okay.
he's a face spirit that has taken animal form.
Yes.
Just telepathy with her
Yeah,
fey
I
reindeer.
get, I get my fey reindeer telepathy going on.
Fantastic.
How do you think Santa directs his sleigh? Obviously, with this telepathic fey reindeer.
Santa's a paladin.
Or he could be a tiefling.
That's right. I sort of imagine when you use your telepathy, it makes the noise that the Hypnotoad makes on Futurama.
We
All right.
should use that to our advantage. So like we can go up to a place and just never speak to each other. We're just like stony
Just
faced.
staring.
The
Staring at
tiefling's
you.
just sitting there rolling his eyes.
He's basically has to be a router for you guys.
I would.
Right? It's a
Make the
communication
dial-up
router.
sound.
That's what it sounds like when we're connecting.
All right,
These robots.
so you're gonna try and take the long rest and then go,
Yeah.
or you?
I think particularly for a monk, a long rest would be helpful. No?
I
Oh,
mean,
because you're...
Short rest is plenty for me.
Okay.
Then maybe we don't want to risk so much dragon.
On the other hand, we
Does
just take
Path-
out the dragon. We don't have to sneak up there to go fight the dragon. It comes to
You're
us.
talking about a dragon who has lived a long time and people know who he is.
A legendary
That is a
dragon.
legendary.
I'm
I
just
would also point out to
overrated.
you that you know that dragons are very dangerous in and around their lairs.
Ooh, dragons are very dangerous.
So then again, better to fight it here outside of its lair than in the
This
whole
might
I
still
guess
count
my
as
count is around.
around his lair.
My character's quite
Within the
optimistic.
city.
That's
Unfailingly
my,
optimistic. Okay.
I would like to humbly point out that we are not here to fight a dragon.
I-
We're here to find a tiefling woman and leave.
I enjoy slaying dragons.
I
I've
agree.
never done that before.
but I love it.
I'm
I
sure it's
feel
fun.
like I would love slaying a dragon.
Let's put that on the back burner.
Okay. As long
Bucket
as,
list
as
item.
long
Put
as
a
with
pin in
with
it.
a short rest, I can still pass without trace. Or?
I think you probably have enough spells each
I think,
day.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
For
fine.
that.
So okay. Cool.
So-
Short rest is fine.
Sorry
for
for
me.
any impertinence, but I would prefer not to fight a dragon and
I'm
simply
with you.
accomplish our task.
But how cool
You
would it
just-
sound when you get to tell people later that you slayed a dragon?
How cool would it sound when other people talk about how dead we were that time we tried to slay a dragon?
Remember those guys who sent up north to find
Casting no
expeditions? Man,
dispersion
they
on you-
died
on
way
you.
fast.
I don't care how cool I sound.
Again, so I'm asking again, do we want to take the long rest and
Short
risk the
rest,
dragon,
I
or the
think.
short
No,
rest?
we did our short rest.
Short rest.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
But don't we need to wait? But if we're waiting long
The
enough,
longer you wait, the more likely it is that something
right?
bad.
But
can
weren't we?
happen.
But weren't we waiting till
How
basically 8
I would
hours
say-
anyway?
You well, no, you wouldn't need to wait that late.
Okay.
From sunset. Yeah, like maybe 2 a.m, something like that. So not a full night. Not
Yeah.
night. Okay.
Yeah.
Till the clubs close upstairs.
Yeah.
There you
Right.
go.
Well, like, if it was just sunset and we're waiting until 2 a.m, that is a long rest, essentially.
Really?
Yeah, you wouldn't need to wait that late. Is what I'm saying. Trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Once the sun goes down, there's not a lot to
They have-
do. So
Oh, yeah.
They have
they-
kids. It's early bedtime.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Well then, a
We're
short
sleeping at
rest
8:30.
time
You
later.
pro- you
We
probably
will
want
head back.
you probably want to give it a few hours.
Okay.
But not the full like 8.
Okay.
So then we use pass without trace to sneak up there?
Mhm.
Yes, that sounds like a
As,
plan.
yeah. As soon
Let's
as
do it.
we're in visual range, I'll cast pass without
All right,
trace.
fantastic. So, a couple of hours pass and nothing happens. You don't have any encounters with dragons or anything like that. But you are, at that point, you're pretty confident that the things have died down in the village a little bit. So you begin making your way across the shelf over to the canyon. When you reach the canyon, you cast your Pass Without Trace spell and cloak you and your allies in sort of your rangery magic. So all of you are going to need to make a dexterity stealth check, but as a result of Pass Without Trace, you also get a +10 bonus on that.
All right.
Oh wait, that was the wrong roll.
20.
I only got a 32.
Only
Wait.
What was
let's
the
see.
plus we get on it?
+10.
I am the stealthiest of all the paladins.
All right, I got a 30.
I'm just saying.
I got a 34. So.
Wait. Let's see what I
Please
got.
say you got like an
27.
11.
I also got a
I
34.
got a 31, but
Very nice.
I
Very
failed a
nice.
stealth roll.
I got
A moonwalk.
I got
up
a
the
I got an 18. So.
with a +3.
But do you
Okay.
have any?
Did you get? You added the +10. Wow. Okay.
Wait, but do you? What's
I
your? What's
rolled a
your?
1.
Fortunately for
What's
you,
your dexterity modifier though?
It's 2.
+2. Yeah. So then you're at
So-
50. Oh, you are at 13.
so,
I'm at 13.
Fortunately for you, your companions are stealthy enough that you aren't too much of an
Do I
impediment.
have? Does the reindeer have to roll?
No. Well, are you taking the reindeer?
I don't know.
We're
It's
not
just a
taking-
path, right?
I got
It's
the
not-
question. Did the hole, was it big enough that the stair reindeer could actually make it down the stairs, or should I leave the reindeer out here?
Leave the reindeer behind.
You can summon him anytime if we need him, right?
But yeah,
Okay, then that's fine.
I'll just I'll dismiss him.
All right.
See you
That
later,
sounds
Rudy.
good. Yeah, I figured since you were going down into the glacier,
Fair.
you probably wouldn't bring Rudy with you.
I want to see. I want to see Rudy try to navigate the ladder.
You mean
He said it was
ladders, aka Centaur Bane? Yeah. Okay, so the trip up the path this time goes relatively quickly. You see that there actually are scouts up top keeping watch, but thanks to your magic, you all sort of blend in with the ice and kind of ghost your way up. And there's a little bit of a fog that has laid across the top of the plateau, so these sort of scouts are up there looking around and watching out. They're just humans though, so they don't have any kind of dark vision, so between your magic and everyone else's ability to sort of creep by, you guys just sort of ghost through the fog and make your way into the now quiet village. The fires have been doused, and it appears as though most of the village, except for the few scouts that you see on duty, are asleep. You make your way over to the whalebone decorated building, and when you pull aside the leather door, you see that the braziers inside have been extinguished, and you can see that the wooden platform, or the trap door, has been set back in place. And actually, now that it's back in place, you would think it is just like a speaking platform in the middle, but because you were able to see it separated, you sort of revealed the secret door, or saw the revealed secret door.
I'm trying to keep right in the middle of the pack so I can keep everyone within 10 feet of me.
Oh, okay, sure, no problem.
When we get like 5 feet from there and our spell wears off, and all of a sudden we just appear.
Hey guys! No, but you're able to. You're actually able to make it all the way inside without any disturbances.
Yeah. Well,
So descending down into the glacier.
yeah.
Yep.
So why not? Sounds like a non-ominous thing to do.
It's fine.
See, the
As long as
dragon's
there's no
out
more
looking
changes.
for us.
Yeah.
So now is the time.
As long as we don't have to face any two-sword champions, then
Well, I think if we all faced the two-sword champion, we could
Oh,
probably...
he
true.
he would have.
We would have wrecked face.
sure.
All right. So you begin to descend down a spiral staircase, and this staircase is carved into the ice, probably by the same tools that were used to carve the staircase in the canyon. But it is a very tight spiral staircase, almost like when you're climbing like a tower in a castle. That very tight spiral down, and it's a little slick, so you have to be kind of careful going down. But at the point where you enter the hut, you no longer have any moonlight to rely on, which means that your ranger and monk are going to be going to have some difficulty seeing.
Before we go too far, are we going to move? We should move the
Thing back on top.
Sure,
Oh,
yeah, that's
yeah.
fine.
Okay.
No
Then
problem.
once we see that it's really dark, we should light a torch for the non-dark vision friends
Yeah.
that we have.
Okay, no problem. Who's carrying the torch?
I'll
No,
carry the torch.
not me.
Okay, great.
I've got my shield out.
All
And a
right.
sword.
So, as a group, you descend in the torchlight down this icy spiral staircase. Eventually, you've been going down for quite a while. You think actually you might be getting down close to the water level at this point because it's been going down for so long, and you've sort of lost track of how deep down it's gone.
Are we there yet?
The
It's been
spiral
like 20
staircase.
seconds.
Yeah.
Goes forever.
He's
Yeah,
very
like a
small.
mini
It
human.
feels very long to him.
The spiral staircase
Wait,
opens
was
up.
that short Joe?
Opens up into a vaguely rectangular shaped chamber. Inside this chamber, it is all, again, carved out of the ice. It's mostly empty, except that there are sort of 3 bundles of what look like rolled up seal skins sitting off to one side. You can also see that there are a few beds of piled up furs that are set out. Most of them are empty. However, there is one person asleep in one of those beds. So you guys are sort of coming down the stairs, and when you emerge out into this chamber, you can see that there is a villager there in one of these, but he is asleep. Are you doing the map? Okay, just curious.
Sadly, I don't have that one right now.
Okay, cool.
I'll gesture to everyone.
You can see he is snoring quietly. After a few seconds, though, he shakes as his body is racked with coughs, and it's loud, sort of deep chest coughs, and you can hear that sort of sick sounding, liquid in his lungs.
I feel bad for him.
Let's put him out of his misery.
I could just
Whoa.
make him feel better.
No. I say that after I roll my eyes like all the way around my head at him going,
Wait, so you said
no. He said maybe we could put him out of misery. I said no.
From the area, so you sort of stopped. He's asleep, but he's racked with coughs. You can see that there are 2 exits to this room, one to the north and one to the south. Both look to be about 10-foot wide corridors, and They're carved out of ice. Unfortunately, your torchlight doesn't reach very far beyond there, so you can't quite tell what's in each direction.
Which ways?
North and south.
We should go south.
Sure.
All right.
Oh,
Let's
sure.
quietly try to
You
shut
got
the
the
fire
torch.
without waking him up.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not going to wake up the.
He looks like he needs his rest.
I do, however, take out a cold treatment tincture from my herbalism kit and just leave it beside me.
Okay, you pull out some Vicks Vapor Rub and you're like, here you go, big guy.
At this point, are there any sign of dragons? Any
No, in fact, this is all like.
dragonness?
Obviously, the stairs could not handle a dragon,
Of
right? It's
course,
much too small.
Mhm.
And then down here, this looks like, I mean, obviously the villagers have brought these furs down here. The dragon would have no need for them. So it looks like this is an area that is used by the villagers.
Infirmary / outpost.
Right.
I don't know. Okay.
It's the TB ward.
I know. Did we just stumble into
I know.
quarantine?
We did. We're in the quarantine area.
I'll look at you and be like,
Go south.
Okay. So you head towards the passage to the south, clustered in a tight group, and make your way to another sort of vaguely square chamber. It's a little bit larger than the one you just came out of, but you can see that as you enter this room, there are a number of supplies down here, and most of them look like they're wrapped up in skins to preserve them. There's some, like you see, basically there are a few rows of fish that are packed in ice off to one side, but you're clearly entering some kind of supply room. You can see there's dried and frozen fish, whale, seal, walrus, what looks like some kind of deep sea creature that has been sort of dried and laid out.
we take
Um,
a rest here.
Furs of all kinds, shells, bones. There's actually a few barrels as well that look like they've been pilfered from other, like from ships or something like that. Most of them are pretty old, and even the iron on them are pretty rusted. So looks like they've been there a while. But you also see a few other signs of more civilized materials as well. You can see that, like, casually sort of tossed off to one side is a steel gauntlet. You can see that there is what looks like a broken dueling knife with a brass hilt that's just been sort of cast aside. What looks like it's probably some kind of decorative belt buckle is just casually set up on top of some of these other supplies. So obviously they have some things from civilization here, but it's not clear where they've come from because everything else in the room is obviously what they have managed to store themselves. Let's see here. You see there are coils of rope, spikes, pulleys that look like they come from ships, like the kind that are used to raise sails. Let's see here.
Like a bunch of pilfered things from ships.
Let's see here. You're. Why don't you give me a wisdom nature check? Right now.
Well, we already know that they were here.
Oh yeah. Just what? 11.
Okay. There's something kind of familiar as you're looking about like the way these are arranged, and you go over and you look at the coils of rope, and one of the things you notice is that they're smaller than what a human would carry usually.
Okay.
Like you expect like a 50-foot coil of rope.
Mhm.
These are probably only like 20 or so feet. Maybe they're used for ships, but also there's just something sort of tickling the back of your memory. It kind of looks like the supplies that you've seen used by the minions of dragons, but not dragons themselves.
Okay. Huh. There's dragons. There has to be a dragon down here somewhere.
Like you've seen
Yeah.
these kind of supplies in the dens of kobolds.
Okay. Okay. These are cobalt supplies.
Fine kobold craftsmanship
Yeah.
stands out.
Finest kobold
It's like,
workmanship.
this is a kobold-sized rope. So.
Okay. Actually, so why don't we go ahead and wrap up there then, and we will pick up next time with further exploration of Rothator's iceberg lair. So we're playing again in 2 weeks. Is that correct?
I think so.
Trevor?
That's,
Okay.
that's what I
All
remember
right.
as well.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. This was sort of our getting started session. So obviously a little bit of excitement on top of the plateau. But now that we're well into the dungeon, next time we'll dive right in. So tune in again in about 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll have our technical issues sorted out by then and can jump back in. Thank you to all my players for joining me for this game, and thank you for watching. And with that, I guess we'll sign off.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.